Hello, lovely souls. It's Sonya here with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company. How are you today? We are December 14th, 2021, and it is extremely fitting that today's episode is all about reflection. And the reason why I decided on this topic right now is because I'm doing an upcoming workshop this Saturday and next week. So December 18th and 20th, two separate dates, the same workshop. And the reason why is, guess what's right around the corner? It is 2022, right around the corner. And can you believe it? Do you remember at all when we were little, and I say we for who's ever listening to this, but when we were much younger, how 2025 seemed like so futuristic, especially from a child born in the 70s, like me. Like 2025 seemed way, way out there. And now it's literally a little bit less, or a little bit over 3 years away. Wow. So I'm going to start today by sharing a little bit about my momentum and my motivation for this particular episode. And it's not just because I'm doing a workshop. The workshop is exciting. It's called the Goldilocks Approach, and the Goldilocks Approach to a healthier you, because we all think that there's a one-size-fits-all when it comes to goal setting. And when it comes to identifying which action you want to take and how you want to take it and the roadmap that you need for success. But before we can even get to that step, we need to reflect as to where we're at right now. What kind of year we've had, what actions we take day to day to move the needle closer and closer to our goals. So for instance, yesterday, I slept in. Not like me whatsoever. Sometimes I hesitate whether or not I want to work out in the morning. Although the days that I do work out, I get so much more done. So I literally laid in bed yesterday till about 7:30, and I felt guilty getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I already done my meditation, but that's it. My meditation and some of my social media. I knew I had a few things to do yesterday, but honestly, I did not check a lot off my list. I watch my grandson on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I use that as an excuse not to get work done. That's not how I want to move forward in my year. That's not at all how I want to become a successful goal crusher. Right? So compare yesterday morning where I lay there and lingered, and yes, maybe I got in touch with a few people, but more importantly, today I lingered for half an hour. Then I got up after I've done my meditation and lingered. I got up and I got on the bike. Then I did my affirmations on the bike. Then I got up from the bike and had a shower. After my shower, I did more affirmations, started to do my research on my plan for the day, getting more of it fine-tuned. And yes, I have Hudson here today, but I've already accomplished so much before 8 o'clock in the morning, this morning. And this is my plan of attack for going into next year. Yeah, there is something spectacular about working my heart for 20 minutes before I start the day. And I used to love that. And now because I do exercises throughout the day, I don't feel like I need it first thing in the morning. Or sometimes I'm sore, but it starts my day off so differently. And here's another reason why. Not only does it elevate my energy, I drink more water, but it keeps me more focused and on track mentally for the other obstacles that are to come. So, what is it that you have done throughout the year that has brought you to a point of satisfaction? So I want to ask you this loaded question. I know I just kind of rambled on that one, but are you doing what it takes? Are you doing what it takes to move the needle? Yesterday, I clearly was not doing what it takes. Today, I am showing up. Today, I am doing the work, and today, I am inspiring others on my journey. Because every single time a year comes to a close, we are filled with a level of excitement that only seems to crop up this time of year, right? Well, not just. It also comes up when we buy a new house. It also comes up when we originally get a new job. It also comes up typically at the beginning of a relationship that we really like. But how are you going to hold on to that level of excitement as you're moving through to crush those goals? You're excited for a brand new chapter. a clean slate. So with that in mind, let's dig deep and hop into today's podcast. Because we want every day to be a lot more like today and not like yesterday. Not that yesterday wasn't an amazing day. It turned out amazing. But when we are our calendar, when we dictate our time, there's so much more we can be doing differently to move the needle. And I did a reflection piece last night, and it was really, really eye-opening to realize which goals I did accomplish and which goals I didn't accomplish and why I didn't accomplish them. So let's dig into that a little bit more. So right around the corner, in less than a month, we have a whole new year ahead of us with strong intentions, better than ever, and we're going to crush these goals. This year's going to be different. What is fueling that excitement for you? In all honesty, was 2021 better than you had planned it to be? Go back and think about that for a second. Was the whole 11 and a half months that just passed, was it better than you thought it was going to be? Great. You know what? That's awesome, if that's exactly what it was. But as I reflect, there were some moments that didn't make it spectacular. In March, I fell into Lake Erie trying to rescue my dog. And any lake in March in southwestern Ontario is super cold. There was nobody around to help me. There was nobody around when I got into the village that day. That itself was alarming and unusual. I guess alarming because it was unusual. That same day, the very time I was in the lake, not sure how I was getting out after I'd rescued my dog, my kid's grandmother, just trying to find the right words, she passed away with a heart attack at the exact same time I was in the water. For me, that was a huge message. Fast forward to July, and Tony's vehicle was stolen from the shop in town where we had it in for repairs. Wow, right? Fast forward another 3 months, and my mom and my oldest daughter were in 2 separate car accidents. Now everybody's fine. You've heard me say this. Everybody is fine. But it really frightened me. It really put in alignment. So in March, I got a clear message that my time wasn't up. In July, I got a clear message that, some things are worth the fight. He had to spend 12 weeks trying to fight what was rightfully his in terms of an insurance claim, because people aren't willing to follow up and pay out without a fight these days. But I did reflect on that. This happened for a reason, and it's okay, and we're going to get through it. And then the next thing that happened in the fall, so not only did Mom and Megan get into 2 separate car accidents on the same day, an hour apart, with the same police officer attending both. Wow, right? That was a huge wake-up call for me as well, that I could have lost both family members in one day. Wow. That's precious. I take stress leave. I go off leave for a little bit from work just so I can regroup and get myself back together. And you all heard me talk about this. I go back to work and I get laid off. As I'm still on stress leave, I'm not even back at work yet. And yes, I know it's probably not right or just. But again, I truly believe that it all happened for a reason. And having this job was enabling me to get through COVID because the fitness industry was hardest hit. Yes, nurses were hit hard, but they still had their jobs. We had to close down our dreams, health and wellness. So I'm not saying that other industries weren't hit. I'm not taking away from anything, but can I go back and say 2021 was amazing? Nope, I can't. I can go back though and say that I did write 3 chapters in 3 different books. I did write my own self-love, self-awareness workbook called Your Story Matters. Became an international bestseller, an award-winning bestseller for that workbook that I put together. That is huge, my friends. I conquered that goal. I conquered the goals of writing other chapter books this year. But other goals suffered. I didn't make the financial capacity that I wanted to make this year. No, I didn't. I didn't work on some of my fitness goals this year. No, I didn't. I didn't even go out and do as much as I wanted to do for frivolous and extracurricular and fun events. Now, some of that was because of society and where we're at. But my point is, 2021 was not better than I had planned. It wasn't. But it wasn't one of those years that I don't want to talk about, right? Because I believe through reflection that I've learned so much from the ups and downs that went through the year. This is exactly what I needed to go through this year. It's mindset at this point, right? And it's reflection. And that's what reflection is. It's a form of mindset. And once you do the work and reflect on what's working and what's not working, and yes, every single Friday, you can catch these on YouTube. I go through and do check-in Friday. And I talk about what's moved the needle along from one point to the next and how I'm getting closer and closer to my goals. And I'm working on them 100%. But here's the thing. If your intentions for 2022 are fueled by a negative outlook based on the last 12 months or based on the last decade, your potential to make meaningful progress is shot. How can you go through last year and flip the script? How can you go through the last decade and change your story? A quote that comes to mind here is, "We think too much and feel too little." And that's by Charlie Chapman. We think too much about what could lie ahead and forget to absorb those good and bad moments that made us who we are today. Because these are opportunities and lessons that we can reflect on. So we now know what to do or what not to do when it comes to achieving success for the future. And it all starts with reflection. And I mean every word that I said with my reflection. Is it frustrating that I didn't go back to work and got laid off while I was about to go back from stress leave when I knew in my heart, when I said to my doctor and I knew in my heart that I wasn't ready to go back, I was still in shock and trying to get used to a few things. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And life happens. And especially to my friends in our 40s, late 40s, life happens differently than what we expected. You know, one area of growth that I did have was I'm no longer in scarcity mindset. And that's a huge growth. That's a metric that is hard to measure until you realize the vocabulary that's coming out of your mouth. For sure, that is a huge area of growth. And I do want to take a second and highlight that because sometimes we are growing in different areas that we don't realize, but it's coming full circle. Keep that in mind as we move forward on today's episode. Every experience, every moment we face is a lesson. And a lesson will keep presenting itself to you until you commit to it and finally take a stab at it. So let's go back to me being laid off. There were 6 other people that were downsized. Most of this happened while I was on leave. So here's the thing. I have an opportunity at this point to do one of 2 things. Do what I've done recently and go back and get a job. Or do what I haven't done, change the course, change my outlet, change my outlook, and be 100% open to receive by continuing to work on my business myself. That's how I see this as an opportunity. That's the course I'm taking. My family needs me. My priorities have changed. And the only way I can fulfill that is through freelance work or by working more so on my business, which is what I'm planning on doing. And I am a lot more in it when I have my own responsibilities and a life that I need to make work. Because mom and dad aren't getting any younger. Nope. My grandson's not getting any younger, which means mom and dad can't help out with them as much. My daughter still can't find childcare because it's just not available for infants right now based on numbers. Those are some of the changes that happened with COVID. And I can respect that 100%. I'm not upset with any of this. I'm taking the emotion out of the equation. These are the facts. So if it's not me, it's my parents. If it's not my parents, it's somebody else. But who else could it be to help with this right now? So I'm doing what I can because serving doesn't have to be external. Serving can be helping out those in your inner circle, in your family first. And I know there are many types of traditions in families that support that. My family, we have not seen it come full circle until right now. We're just not from an environment where, yes, I guess protecting your own eons ago, my mom had so many brothers and sisters that they were actually born to help out on the farm and to help out with the siblings. And yes, way back then, that's exactly what we took, was a community to raise the family. And that's where we're at again now. It's just where we're at in life right now, or where I'm at in life right now. So in order to make it work, my business is my priority. And that comes with a lot of downtime, and that comes with heightened focus on the times that I am working. Okay? And that's a priority for me. But in order to be able to do that, I need to prioritize my health. In order to be able to do that, I need to stay on top of my finances. In order to do that, I need to know what I'm doing with my time. You see, every experience, every moment that we are choosing to do something, we are choosing to say yes, which means we are saying no to something else. Going into 2020, we want to be saying yes to the right things. So we are moving that needle along. We want to ponder this year, 2021, and see what worked. Yes, of course, you can hop onto social media and you can check the algorithms and you can see the videos of what was nostalgic, but stop for a few minutes, grab a pen and paper, hit pause, and ask yourself, was 2021 really the year you thought it would be? Do you have those resolutions written down that you put together last year? If so, pull them up. Whether you're experiencing success beyond your wildest dreams or became a stronger person for the hardships you endured, which way would you say 2021 worked out for you? Because we can't go into 2022 without reflection. And let's expand on this a little bit further. Are you really doing what it takes to reach your goals, or does it just look like it? Because there's a big difference. Sometimes when we have big goals and aspirations for ourselves, we think about the goal. We plan to achieve it. We may even become financially invested, but we never take the necessary steps to get out there. We make ourselves look like we're working super hard to achieve something, but we're not genuinely putting in the effort required to get the job done. So let's take weight loss, for example. Those of you on a weight loss journey right now, ask yourselves, am I really doing what it takes to lose weight and get healthy, or does it just look like I am? Am I spending money every month on a gym membership to get fit, but am I actually not showing up to go to the gym and to work out? Are you doing all of your grocery shopping at a healthy store, like any grocery store, or are you buying lots of fruits and vegetables, or are you letting them spoil in the fridge? Or are you going through a drive-through for dinner, breakfast, lunch, snacks? You know, that's an issue for me, so we need to talk about that if that's the case, because that's not going to help you on any of your goals. And you know what? If any of this is you, I know it sucks. And I'm sorry you feel like crap right now, and I am the one that made you feel like that. You might be thinking, Sonya, I know, but here's the thing. So many of us can relate to this program. This problem, not this program. We have so much on our plate. And even I've experienced this over and over again in various areas of my life, including my own weight loss journey, as well as my relationships, as well with my relationship to money. That's why I really wanted to discuss this with you today. I truly believe that if we're honest about whether or not we're really doing what it takes, we can start taking action to achieve our goals and to get real results. Because being prepared does not get us results. The only thing that ensures results is showing up every day and doing the work. I didn't get any kind of result yesterday by laying in bed. No, I didn't. Yeah, it felt nice to linger, okay? It felt nice to start Monday morning off without a rush. But feeling nice, it felt just as nice today to conquer 20 minutes on the treadmill with a 10-pound birdseed backpack on my back. Actually, I think it was 12 to 15 pounds. I've lost some bird seeds over the years. But regardless, that felt good. It really, really did. So let's go back to the weight loss example. You can buy another pair of running shoes, even though you already have other good pairs. You can go to your favorite store and pick up a new sports bra, new leggings. You can tell yourself all of these things are going to make you feel like working out. You can listen to your favorite fitness podcast program. You can take nutritional advice. You can write out a plan. You can buy healthy food. But none of this will help you lose weight if you don't start exercising and eating healthy. If you don't take action. That fourth pair of shoes isn't going to help you lose weight if you don't do anything with them. The new sports bra and leggings won't help you lose weight, but working out will. Fitness podcasts and nutritionists are great for helping you learn ways to exercise and to eat healthy, but they won't help you lose the weight unless you take their advice and start eating the healthy food. But how can you know if you're truly doing what it takes or if it just looks like it? The answer is simple. Ask yourself this one question. Am I getting results? If you are getting results, great. Keep up what you're doing. Clearly it's working. Don't change a thing. But if you're not getting results, it's time to take action. It's time to wade into the water, cast the line, reel in a fish, and eat healthy. It's time to put the running shoes on, go for a run, and finally start losing weight. And don't be discouraged. It's about taking that first step every day. Just by asking yourself these questions, you're developing new self-awareness. And that in itself is so important. When you're honest with yourself about whether you're really doing what it takes or whether it just looks like it, you're in a great position to reevaluate the steps you're taking to achieve your goals, to start taking action, but most importantly, to start getting results. So we're not going to jump too much into goals today. I'm going to highlight them, but we're not going to jump too much into goals today. Because how do you take that first step? How do you bridge the gap between looking at what you want to work towards and actually doing the work? That right there is the question. Pause for a minute and think of the progress you would like to make in the following areas. To do with the meals, the nutrition that you put in your body, your relationship with money. Are you always saying you can't afford that? You don't have enough? Are your credit card bills more than what you make? Is your relationship with money, does that make you comfortable? How about your mindset? With everything, do you say that you don't have time? Are you always rushing? Are you always 2 steps behind? Are you never prepared? How about your mindset? And then movement. What are you doing movement-wise to take care of your body? Are you getting your steps in? Are you getting on a bike? Are you going for a swim? How are you moving your body on a daily basis? This is where you need to take out the pen and paper again and start writing. First, figure out your goal. Be very specific. You want being specific to be your superpower. So let's stick with weight loss here. I want to be healthier is not specific. I want to lose 25 pounds before September, Labor Day specifically. Now we're talking. I want to do a push-up isn't specific enough. I want to be able to do 50 push-ups unbroken on my toes is a specific goal. I'm not saying it's one that you have to choose, but it's a specific goal. But by identifying your goal with that much specificity, I can't say it. By being that specific, I could say it earlier, you start to unlock your massive potential and gain confidence that'll help you take action. Once you've identified your goals, think about what just looking at it actually looks like and don't stop writing. So write out your goal and think about what it looks like to just look at this goal. And now make another list as long as you can. This goes back, way back to what I talked about earlier. If you have lots of running shoes, if you have lots of workout clothes, do you have those that you never wear? Do you have long receipts from the grocery store that are mostly full of cookie dough and sugar or food that isn't good for you? Take that pen and paper and write out what happens when you don't take action, but when you continue to accumulate things to help you take action. I know this isn't fun to think about, but keep going. Keep digging in and being honest with yourself because reflection is key. When you've thought of 1 or 2 things, force yourself to think of 5 more. Because here's the thing. By forcing yourself to expand the boundaries of your mental capacity, you become a better thinker. And with that, it'll have a huge impact on every area of your life. You'll become more self-aware. You'll be able to better identify your particular strengths and weaknesses, and that makes it so much easier when it comes to clarity and confidence as you pursue your goal, no matter what your goal is. Finally, when you've got one specific goal and you made a list of things that just made it look like you are pursuing that goal versus action, ask yourself now, what is it going to take for you to implement action to reach that goal? And again, be very specific. Make a list. Keep in mind that you don't have to do everything on your list right now, but this list will help you. So what will it take to accomplish your goal? How are you going to lose those 25 pounds by Labor Day? Maybe you decide to follow the golden rules of carbs and fat loss consistently, which I do explain in another episode, and I can certainly speak with you about independently as well. But there are some great tips and tools in there if you are looking for fat loss. Maybe you're going to implement it 5 or 6 days a week, or 27 days out of 30 days a month. That's up to you to decide. But if you lay down those specific ground rules for yourself, you're setting yourself up for success and for real results. The word I don't know, or the words I don't know, is the beginning of your work, not the end of it. So as you're working through these questions and trying to write down your responses with as much specific details as possible, I want you to know that you're eventually going to get to a point where the words I don't know come up. And that is okay. You don't need to know the answers. You can let them sit and linger and see what happens. Seriously, it is okay not to have all of the answers all of the time. I know this is counterproductive to what we've learned in school, and I've talked about this in other podcasts, but there's nothing wrong with seeing what happens. Because it gives you a place to start, and it means you are open to receiving ideas and suggestions. And when that happens, you can take action with direction and seek those answers to your questions. So let's go back to the weight loss journey one more time. Maybe you can take a hard look at yourself and realize that you've just been looking like you're trying to lose weight without actually doing what it takes. You haven't taken the action. Okay, maybe that's what 2021 was all about, looking the part but not doing the work. So now you set specific goals. You start using those running shoes and you take steps towards losing weight. And that's great. But maybe when you ask yourself, how can I eat healthier foods? How do I know what kind of nutrition plan is best for me? You have to admit that you just don't know this. That in itself is also great. Now you can start to actively seek answers. Seek out a nutritionist, a doctor, a coach. Yours truly, fitness advisor who can help you create a plan and strategies for your diet to support you on your weight loss goals. Just remember, when you're seeking answers and find them, continue to take action. Take the advice you get from the trusted sources and celebrate as you finally start seeing results. Because 2022 should be all about taking action. You have held back long enough. Here's the thing. If I could just encourage you for a minute, oftentimes we go a mile deep on the problem and only an inch deep on the solution. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can truly see results if you choose to go as deep with the solution as you go with the problem. There is always a solution. That's why this reflection piece is all about being specific, and it's all about you and your goals. If you take the time to be honest with yourself, admit it when you don't have the answers to a question, seek out the answers, show up for those workshops, free information, see if you like that person, if you mesh with their vibe, and if you do, they can help you implement a strategy. Watch out. Nothing will stand in your way. As difficult and frustrating as it can be not to have all of the answers, remember this is just the beginning of your work. You will have all of the answers come the end. Finding out where you don't know how to move forward is the perfect opportunity to seek help and to start making real progress. It takes honesty and effort, but it is so worth it when you begin to see those awesome results. We have to be creative, energetic problem solvers in order to put our goals into action and to check those off our list. So here's some strategies. Here's some takeaways. Reflect, which is what we're doing today. Plan and make way for improvements. Reflecting on what you took from 2021 is the best way you can prepare to make this year even better. Whether you're planning on one-upping what was a brilliant year or not, you can turn a shitstorm into something more manageable. To help you reflect on your year that was, I've put together some questions, some activities, and some resources to help you peek into the mirror of 2021. You will notice that a lot of these exercises revolve around the written words, but for good reason. Committing these valuable reflections to paper make it easy to revisit your memories. You should get a year after year journal, and I'm not talking a daily journal. I'm talking a year after year journal where you're writing down every single New Year's resolutions in that journal, and you're reflecting either quarterly or annually in that one journal, so you've got a different spot to go back to. Because you will notice by writing things out, you are going to have big strides in the future, even if you never look at them again. Recording these things on paper, these words, these thoughts, these intentions, help drill them into your mindset. It's like tending to the garden of life. Take some time on your own to contemplate your own personal life on a blank piece of paper or in your journal, and make a list of 3 different headings. Under flowers, weeds, and fertilizer. Hear me out. Flowers, what did you love? What bloomed? Weeds, what would you leave out of 2021 as you're moving forward into 2022? And fertilizer, what can you add or improve? I love this analogy. Flowers, weeds, and fertilizer. You know I like to garden. So we've talked a lot today about the biggest problems we face in this drive towards our goals. We know it can be challenging, especially the challenging piece is to be honest with yourself and realize that you need to make the changes in order to reach your goals. You need to be taking action and doing it for real. But we're problem solvers. Here's the thing. When we arrive at a place of self-awareness and we can be very specific, very creative, and attack our goals with so much energy, it can look so different. And if you'd like some extra support, a little more coaching and accountability, maybe you want someone to come alongside you and help keep you going on your journey, you definitely want to start with the free workshop I'm doing. It's called the Goldilocks Approach to a Healthy You. As I mentioned earlier, it's this Saturday and Monday. In this program, I work with people in a much more personal and structured way to create change in their lives. But it starts with reflection. We tackle our excuses head on and find the core values that will motivate you to take action and to stay on track throughout the ups and downs of life. The bottom line, we all have the opportunity to take control of how we want to design our lives, right? So let's get excited about creating the lives we want instead of settling for the lives we're living. Don't wait until January 1st. Don't doubt what is possible. Refuse to play small and allow yourself to dream big. Remember, never DIY your greatest priorities. Every successful woman and man needs a coach. And it's one of my favorite sentences. It's from a friend of mine. Never DIY your greatest priorities. I don't DIY my hair. I don't DIY my taxes. Why would I DIY anything else? In terms of priorities. Friends, I'm here to help support you on your journey. It's always exciting for me to watch people come into their full strength and fruition. I look forward to working with you on the next workshop and to hearing from you next week and to working more closely with you in 2022. I hope to see you all on Saturday or Monday. Have a great day, my friends.